Meanwhile, Tom Brady will play. A federal judge has thrown out his 4-game suspension in the Deflategate controversy.
The judge said the NFL went too far in its punishment of the Patriots quarterback. In U.S. District Judge Richard Berman's decision, he says, quote, because there was no notice of a 4-game suspension in the circumstances presented here, Commissioner Goodell may be said to have dispensed his own brand of industrial justice. Earlier, we spoke with CBSSports.com writer Will Brinson.
Pretty stunning news out of Manhattan with Tom Brady and the Patriots effectively, delivering a massive blow to the NFL by winning this award. And it should be noted that it's not necessarily that he won it. It's that, remember, the NFL went to court in Manhattan and took the NFLPA to court in order to confirm the award. And the judge declined to confirm it, instead vacated it, and has set Tom Brady free. He is free to play. His 4-game suspension has been vacated. And that means that, a week from now, Tom Brady will be suiting up for the Patriots.
What does this mean for Roger Goodell and the NFL?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, one, they're probably going to appeal. They could drop it, and that's the equivalent of tucking tail and running. I would guess that they appeal. That appeal is still going to mean that Tom Brady will play. They can kick it down the road. But when you start to look at the logic behind this, Judge Richard Berman mentioned that Roger Goodell's comparison of Tom Brady's behavior to steroids didn't work. And when he starts looking at the rulings for the reason for why he vacated this award, one, he said there was inadequate notice of Brady for his potential discipline and his alleged misconduct. And two, there's a denial of the opportunity for Brady to examine one of the two lead NFL investigators, primarily Jeff Pash, who's the general counsel and a VP at the NFL. So put it a different way, what it means is that the NFL is going to have to amend the way that they handle beating out discipline in the future. Roger Goodell in the CBA had the ability to be the quote-unquote neutral arbitrator. He's going to eventually lose that. They're going to have to give that up. I mean, whether it's in the next CBA or down the line, this is a huge precedent for the NFL Players Association in terms of how they're going to handle discipline handed out from the league.
Yeah, in fact, we're showing a copy of that ruling right now on the screen, and I'm intrigued at what you were talking about, the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement between the NFL and the Players Union. Judge Berman is saying that it does not give Roger Goodell the authority to carry out the suspension. What is it in the CBA between the Players Union that makes the judge feel that way?
Well, in the CBA, Roger Goodell is listed as the arbitrator of like he can hear appeals. That's part of the CBA. Now, I mean, whether or not it should be part of the CBA, whether or not it should be legal for him to be the guy that hears the appeals, the discipline he hands out, is a whole different matter. It's in the CBA. So what Berman said was he was within his right to do what he did. However, the process by which he did what he did didn't fly with Judge Berman, and that's why he eventually overturned and vacated the suspension.
As I'm looking through here, the very lengthy court ruling, I'm getting to the analysis section here, which is on page 20 out of something like 30 or 40 pages. It talks about the reason this award was vacated. One of the reasons given is that there was denial of the opportunity for Brady to examine one of two lead investigators, namely NFL Executive Vice President and General Counsel Jeff Pash, and also denial of equal access to investigative files, including witness interview notes. Now, we know that the Wells report, the investigation, was commissioned by the NFL. Does this mean going forward, as you were mentioning, things will have to change as the NFL looks to discipline other players or conduct other disciplinary proceedings?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're going to have to. Look, I mean, if we're going to be honest here, the NFL didn't do a very good job handling this investigation and handling the way that they dished out the punishment. I mean, there were multiple ways that, and it doesn't point to one person. It just points to the fact that the inflation of football wasn't a regulated process before this happened, and so nobody really knew how much air was supposed to be in the football. Nobody really knew, what sort of atmospheric effects might cause the footballs to be deflated. And then you have the issue, you mentioned with Jeff Pash. He essentially and I believe this is in the testimony. I don't think I'm just pulling this out of thin air, but I think it's in one of the testimony. He looked at the Wells report before it went public, and so that's if you're a judge, if you're Judge Berman, how can you look at anybody? How can you look at the Wells report and say this is clearly quote independent when a VP and general counsel at the NFL was given an opportunity to edit it and make notes about it before it ever went public?
Will, we're just showing our viewers now. This is a tweet just a couple of moments ago from the New England Patriots. That is the picture that says it all. Tom Brady, fist pumping. Victorious.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I would imagine the Patriots are pretty excited. Look, I mean, they drafted Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round. It looked like a fortuitous move when Tom Brady faced his suspension. But now they're in a situation where even if the NFL appeals, and this was going to happen if Tom Brady lost, he was going to appeal. If the NFL appeals, it's going to drag out for a long period of time. It would get kicked down, then maybe kicked back up. I mean, you could theoretically, I think, take it to the Supreme Court if you wanted to, if you lost. I don't think that Judge Berman would make this ruling if he believed he was likely to get overturned. I mean, this is a guy. Now, bear in mind, we talked to an attorney on CBSSports.com yesterday, a labor attorney, Tom Geis in Washington, D.C., and he pointed out, and I think this is a very important point, Judge Berman has a lifetime appointment. If he makes this ruling and then it gets kicked back on appeal, no skin off his back. He just called it the way he believes that it should play out. And I think that's really what you're seeing from Judge Berman. And if you're the Patriots, you're pretty excited because you have your quarterback for the first 4 games and likely for the entire season.
Yeah, and Will, before we let you go, just a question as to the larger context of this. Roger Goodell has, over the past year or so, last couple of years, tried to exert more authority to maintain what he calls the integrity of the game. And a lot of people felt that he might have been overstepping in some of those calls that he made. Is this going to, in your opinion, your analysis, force him to take a step back from doing such things?
It is going to require at some point between now and the time that the next CBA is negotiated that a different disciplinary process be put in place. And it's, we're going to see it. I don't know how exactly it'll play out, but at some point you're going to see a situation where an actually neutral arbitrator is going to take over for the role of hearing appeals for personal conduct policies. I think too much has happened between Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, and now Tom Brady for it not to be something at the forefront of players' minds and really the public consciousness.
Will Brinson, thank you so much, Will.